You are going in for a listing. You are going to open up to public analysis and public shareholders now.
I don't think we are going to raise too much money. A lot of your customers will get to be your investors. And it will also build a lot more accountability on the company.
In 2016 is when both of you got together. Where did the whole idea come from?
I started investing 2001 or something. And I still kind of remember like how tough it was to open an account and start investing. 2016 it was similar. How Amazon or Flipkart happened in e-commerce. Can we do something similar in investing space and wealth?
Where is the money coming from? What was the seed amount?
It's 2 crore.
2 crore.
1.5 CR.
1.5 and then our small money. There was stuff that time. 2015 was a beautiful period for starting from the funding point of view. 2016 was just flip.
What have been the lowest points of the journey?
There was one time in 2020. So we were yet to launch stocks on the platform. So monetization had not started and the COVID came in like March 2020, right? So we had to kind of raise some very small amount of money and that was like tough.
Thank you so much to both of you for coming into our studios and sitting down with us on the Disruptors. Great to have you. Do you like it when people call you Disruptors from the point of view that you came in and did disrupt the market leader?
Yeah, so I think the only problem with Disruptor is you should not get disrupted. So if you continue disrupting, then it's good. The moment you stop disrupting, then you get disrupted. So
yeah, that's bound to happen in your space.
No, if you are paranoid, then I think you can continue playing.
Okay, so before anything else, let's just start with the origin story. 2016 is when both of you got together and did Groww, but you've worked together before. At that point, met each other at Flipkart. Where did the whole idea come from?
Yeah, so we know each other since like 2005, right? Our first jobs together. And then at Flipkart, when he joined, so I joined earlier and then after a year he joined. We started brainstorming. By the way, we have two other crazy folks with us who are not here right now, but they got added to the team later. But when we started, the idea was 4 of us. We worked at Flipkart and we saw how e-commerce kind of disrupted overall commerce in the country, right? And passionate, like we were very passionate about financial services, especially investing. I started investing when I was studying here at Bombay, at IIT Bombay, and I started around 2001 or something. And I still kind of remember like how tough it was to open an account and start investing. And guess what, in 2016 it was similar. And when 4 of us started brainstorming, we thought, can we democratize this process of investing? Can we build like a platform, like how Amazon or Flipkart happened in e-commerce? Can we do something similar in investing space and wealth? Can people come? Can we make it very simple, delightful, transparent, and let people build their wealth?
No, so just hang on a minute. This is interesting. So you've taken the experience of selling phone, laptop, clothes, etc., XYZ, everything on Flipkart and said, let me apply to financial instruments.
So I think a little differently, Tamanna. I think we've taken all the learnings of how consumer think, how consumer decide, what is important for the consumer, and use that learning into a different place, solving a different problem. So investing was a different problem. Buying a phone or a t-shirt or a shoes is a different problem. But humans are the same. So the thing that helped us and translated from our experiences of not just Flipkart, even before that, we have been part of a couple of startups. We did our own startups before.
Together or separately?
Separately.
Okay.
Both of us failed, not in
different ways.
In different ways.
Yeah, and that was also helpful, by the way, because now you are not from the financial industry. You are not from that. So you can think like a customer. So there's something called curse of knowledge, right? If you know everything about that, then you can't think about somebody who does not know anything. So when we think about Groww, we think it more like a consumer problem than like a financial problem. Of course, there are financial products, but you need to know how customer is thinking about that product.
Yeah. You know, what is interesting is around the time Groww is doing this and you're thinking about how to make it easy to open an account and how to give people options, etc., etc. There are a lot of others who are also thinking about the same idea and solving for the same problems. And you see that across the kind of platform-based or technology-based companies. The problems are there for all to see. And you will have more than one set of founders trying to solve the same problem. How do you then differentiate yourself, and what do you think has helped your journey?
I think it's an approach that's different always, right? So first of all, like what exactly the problem is very hard to find out. I'll give you an example. Like so there is a saying, right? To a person with hammer, every problem looks like a nail. We are techies, right? We come from tech background. At that time, there was a lot of this MLS stuff and this thing happening. So we thought we'll build an app which can tell customers everything about their financial life. Okay, where to invest, wo bata dega, you know, what they invest in this and so on. That was our first product, by the way, which was like an AI advisor kind of product. But then this is a problem, right? Customers don't know where to invest, and you are solving, but it failed. It does not work out. Then you get the real insight, okay, how will that problem be solved? So that approach, the soul searching journey, right? The product market fit. I think that journey is the most important thing, where it took us a lot of time, by the way. It took us 1 year to do that. You need a lot of patience. You need to let go of your ego, and then you get there. So it's approach, basically.
So how did you go about doing your market research, meeting people, freezing upon the idea before you decided to go on this path?
Actually, we started before we left Flipkart and started Groww. Almost a lot of months before Saturdays we used to meet.
There was a cafe in Indranagar called Yogistan Cafe. That was the only one that you would open very early.
And very good vibe where you can think fresh. And then we started, actually from there itself, we started talking to a lot of people, understanding different domain. And this is even before, we left and we started this whole financial service space. Even after launching, our research kept on going. And I think till date, we spend a lot of time talking to consumers. We go to every week, like as a company, and then us also, every 3 months, 4 months, we go to a place and we talk to customers. But early days were more interesting. Now it's like, it's easier to get access to people.
Customers.
Yeah.
First thing we did was to create a WhatsApp group. So WhatsApp, you add your all colleagues and your family groups, and then tell them, jo puchna hai, like ask everything, whatever you want to ask, right? Because the beauty about consumer business is your customer is sitting next to you. Your family is your business. Your family is your customer. Your colleagues are your business. So colleagues are your customer, and so on, right? So WhatsApp groups were like the starting point. We created so that became successful. There was a lot of engagement. We created like hundreds of WhatsApp groups. Neeraj created a tech where we can manage all these hundreds of groups across. Then there's this platform called Crore at that time. People would ask questions there. And then our team, like I think Ishan and Harsh and Neeraj, they were like top writers of Crore, because whole day you are doing just one thing. Question I answer karo. Like you might think you're wasting your time, but you're understanding the customer. There was the story I was telling you earlier, right? Like when you go for a movie, you have a lot of free time before the movie starts. So both of us actually went to PVR in Bangalore, Koramangala, where we would kind of ask customers about various questions and so on. And a lot of times you would get shooed away and so on. But at least you get to know.
They're thinking कि ये form भरवाने को आया है.
Selling something, right? And so on. So there were a bunch of things. Like as I said, like even today, for example, like we do a lot of customer support ourselves. Talk to personally support 500 plus customers or through WhatsApp.
No, so one second. Are you saying that if someone starts, posting or messaging saying that there's a glitch and I'm not be able to put my trade, Lalit, Keshre is sitting and replying to it?
Yes, I do. So
No way.
Yeah,
Seriously?
Of course. Yeah. So I can't do it for everybody.
Yeah.
And he can't do for everybody, but there are some customers who have who are connected to you, and also it helps you. So a lot of times I come to know about a problem much before our systems even detect, because they are so many of very, very power customers with you. Of course, system detect earlier, but it just, I'm saying because it sounds cool, but you come to know about problems very, very fast, right? Because you are right there with the customers.
Yeah.
I hope this show doesn't become a new channel for customer support for Lalit. Now you've announced it. Now everyone's
No,
going to write to Lalit now.
That happens with every episode that we put out. People start writing to the person that we're interviewing with their own complaints. So there's some companies which
it's
have
bound to
more,
happen.
some have
This
less.
is-
Yeah.
It's
so-
it's
part
bound to
of
happen in
consumer
consumer
business.
business.
yeah, it's a consumer business. You're consumer facing.
I quit Flipkart 9 years back. Even today, if somebody has some problem with Flipkart, they reach out to me.
Yeah, Lalit delivery nahi aaya. Are you kidding? Seriously?
Not delivery,
Not
but
delivery,
yes,
but-
phone नहीं चल रहा अब क्या करूँ इसका, like whatever, like those kind of issues. Right?
Say कि मेरा
So if
दूसरा
you're a
business-
consumer business, you're always on.
Yeah, no. So, okay. So you've done your research, you've started one iteration of the business, realized it's not really working. Who is funding all of this right now? Where is the money coming from? How are you guys managing? Because you've worked at Flipkart for some time. The startup Kida is there. You want to do your own thing. You found like-minded people, but what is the funding journey looking like?
So funding, so early though we kind of contributed our own money. But then Mukesh, Ankit, so two of our, Mukesh was at Flipkart, he was a CEO at Flipkart that time, and Ankit Naguri, who was kind of my boss at Flipkart. Both of them kind of did some angel, and then our families also put in some money. It was very small amount. We were also running very lean, like we were 4 of us without
What was the seed amount?
It's 2 crore.
2 crores.
1.5 CR.
1.5
One
and then our
point.
small money.
1.5 CR is how this company has started. I think last quarter you've clocked what, 1900 crores in profits?
1800.
1890 or something.
Last year,
Yeah.
sorry.
Last
last
year's
year.
1890. Okay, 1800 crores in profits. So you've started with 1.5 crore of seed. money.
But there was stuff that time. I mean, 2016, if you remember, 2015 was a beautiful period for starting from the funding point of view. 2016 was just flipped. It was very difficult to raise funds from institute. Like, obviously, just after the hyper funding, you will always see those winters. And 2016-17 was that winter time. So we are, lucky to have Mukesh and Ankit and that 1.5 crore money in the bank to as a validation.
But it also helped us build lean company, right? Because the prudence kind of comes into your genes. If you raise a lot of money, then you learn to spend, right? So in our history of Grow, we have raised like a lot of money in later years and so on, but we haven't burned too much money. Like we have built very, very efficient kind of business.
What was the initial pitch and the kind of responses that you were getting during this funding winter? 2017, 2016, 2017, when you're going around and putting your pitches forward, what are people saying at that point to you?
So one biggest thing was like this problem has been attempted by too many folks and it has not worked.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest one.
How many rejections?
I think we would have talked to almost everybody at that time when we were starting, of course. But then things got very good into 2018. Like 2018, it went the other way around. Like we started getting a lot of inbounds and so on.
Yeah.
So
So
2
now
years-
you had to reject people who rejected
Of
you
course,
earlier.
yeah. You can't take money from everybody, right?
How did those conversations go? Did that feel good?
No, I mean, it's business, right? It's like it's nothing to feel good or bad about. Like it's, I think sometimes people. So whenever you raise money, people also say you congrats, but it doesn't make sense to me because you are telling me congrats because I sold some of my company to raise some money, right? Which is like when you're raising money, you're also giving away some of your company.
Having said that, you want to raise even more money. You are going in for a listing. You are going to open up to public analysis and public shareholders now.
Yeah. I don't think we are going to raise too much money. But it will bring a lot of, so one advantage of that is like a lot of your customers will get to be your investors and they will also participate in the future growth of the company. And it will also build a lot more accountability on the company, a lot of responsibility, and hopefully trust will also kind of increase with that.
So, some of the questions that you mentioned that founders were asking you, how will you make money? And there's so many others doing it. Frankly, those questions have not gone away today as well. Have you found clear answers to that? Are you now very clear what this company is, where it's going, and how it's growing?
We were clear then also.
That's what I'm saying. Clarity was not a problem. I think it's just early days. When you talk about, right, it's very difficult for someone to believe right with the birds, right? Because you have to show. And today we feel that some part of some businesses, small pieces we have shown. We've shown to ourselves, we've shown to the shareholders, we've shown to the team. When we continue to build new things, there will be some doubts in the beginning for us, for others, and we'll have to keep proving it.
The only difference is that at that time we had nothing to show. Today we have something to show.
Yeah, yeah. So you start off with a bit of reboot or pivot of what the product is. You start more with information, and then you come and you build it out, etc. And then you see this hockey stick kind of growth. Were you prepared for it? What has that part of the journey been like?
It was, I think it was very fulfilling and amazing, because I think the best kind of feeling that you get is when somebody uses what you build and say, aha, and talks about it to like tens of people. So I'll again tell you, like, 2016 we kind of started, we tried this experiment that I told about. By October, November, we decided ki ye nahi chalega. We started pivoting. And then the new product we launched in May 2017. And we internally talked here, if we get 100 customers this month, like it will be fun, like it will be crack scene. And within that month we got 600 customers.
Wow.
Without spending anything, nothing. No. It's just people using the product, loving it, and then talking about it. By the way, that time we did not even have direct mutual funds. It was regular mutual funds and so on, right? And so on. And then month over month, you could see like, customers referring. So even today, for example, a lot of our growth happens organic. So basically you don't have to spend money in acquiring the customers. And so that is the signal that kind of tells that, the product is there. And that feeling is like, I think there's nothing like it, basically.
What have been the lowest points of the journey? Where it has been tough, it has been questioned? Because I think funding winter didn't last long enough to harm you in any real way. You pivoted very quickly to what you think is an upward move trajectory. Has it been largely smooth sailing since then?
I mean, I won't say it is smooth sailing, because we've launched a lot of products, put really, really long hours. People worked on it and we killed it also. It's not just that before 2017 we did it. We've been doing that and we continue doing that. Almost 3 or 4 products that we launched, they were customers, but we are not happy with the outcome, and we're not happy that the way it should scale, and we close that. So there have been small low moments with every business that you build with so much care, so many people spend time, and then you have to kind of stop it. But yeah, largely
there have been tough decisions to make.
Yeah. There was one time in 2020. So we were yet to launch stocks on the platform. So monetization had not started, it has not yet kicked in. So you need capital. We had raised capital. We had done Series B till then. And the COVID came in like March 2020, right? And there was not clear visibility when will kind of monetization kick in. So we had to kind of raise some very small amount of money. And that was like tough, because nobody knows what is going to happen. There was one existing investors who kind of, and we are very grateful to that. Although we had capital, like it's not like but we have always been paranoid about capital. Always keep a lot of, because startup is always like, there is always kind of uncertainty in early days and so on. So it's always better to load up some, capital is like an asset. At that time we raised like, I think it was a 2-3 million kind of round, which was after Series B round. It was very small. That was good kind of low point.
No, I think you have, what's interesting about the story and the journey is that you have managed to come out ahead in a very, very competitive race. Talk a bit about that landscape, because it's a tech platform. The moat is not necessarily high. Others can do and are doing what you are doing as well. What keeps you up at night in terms of making sure that you stay on top? I mean, right now you have, I think, the largest number of active users. You're growing at scale. Someone can come and do the same thing tomorrow. Does that worry you?
So one thing, like since you talked about landscape, right? What we did since the early years is that we did not kind of think about competitors at all. What we believe, and even now, if you understand your customer and if you understand them better than anybody else, you keep building for them, you will continue growing. And that's what answers also another question which you asked, which is like what keeps us up in the night, right? The biggest, like, what we are paranoid about is what if this new set of customers come and we don't understand them, and then somebody else build for them and so on, right? So that is, I think, bigger question, because the moment you start thinking about competitor, then your product also starts becoming like others more and more, and it becomes like more and more commodity. So that's, I think, the one big kind of difference.
You don't look
in
at
thought
competition at all?
Oh, and it's not just for saying, it's just like if you come in our office and you listen to any discussion, I don't think anyone is talking about competition. See, till at least for now, we still have a lot of growth potential in India, and this is real, like, because there is a very small percentage of people who are still in the capital market.
Yeah.
Probably when you have exhausted 70-80% of the country across the industry, and that is why that is when you'll probably start thinking, why will my share come from others, or will it come new in the industry? So till there is a new people coming in the industry, if you're good, you understand them well, you have invested enough in the technology to be able to cater to the newer changes happening in the behavior, in the way they are consuming information, in the way they are adopting the transactional experiences, then you will be good. I mean, you'll have enough work to do.
No, having said that, the reason I asked the question is because managing wealth seems to be the most lucrative business, with some very, very big players and deep pockets also coming in right now. That's what everyone wants to do. And the pool of Indians who have enough wealth to manage is not necessarily very large as a percentage of population. You've taken the 70-80% of population. You have to restrict it to your TAM will be the people who have enough wealth to manage.
There is a very large TAM. Like you look at the number of bank deposits and the amount of wealth that is in India, right? Total.
So that's your competitor. The banks where FDs are kept.
Not just everything is competitor. Like if in customers' mind, everything where you can do with your wealth is a competitor, right? But if you keep thinking about competitor, you won't be able to build product. So what you do is, okay, what will you make that will kind of be very good for customer? How can customer build more wealth? How can customer derive more happiness from your product, right? That is what you kind of think about.
Come to think about the TAM also, there are so many people who will have their assets in real estate, in gold, in bank, and everything is a TAM, because eventually they will financialize that. They will put in capital market for the higher growth. They'll diversify it. So it's not just, it's very big in India if you see overall TAM.
You're also in a space which has a lot of regulatory oversight, as it should.
Yeah.
So that is something that you have to be careful of as well, because the derivatives boost to volumes could now be drying out, will continue to dry out. Are those some of the trends that you're seeing?
See, overall, regulation is always good. It's about customers' hard-earned money, right? Regulations play a very important role about protecting the customer and so on. For us specifically, I think it always when we started our value system is also kind of built for the customer and so on. So it's more or less aligned. But there was some excess last year, right? And then something happened, and then kind of it's again back to kind of some.
Yeah, you're saying volumes are back?
Volumes are back, as in not on the upper side, but they are kind of okay-ish, and then
regulations for us have been very good in terms of what are the changes happened since we are aligned for customers, regulators are aligned. We are a tech-first company, so we are able to adopt those things, make those changes, make it scalable. And every time, it's not just last year or now that regulations will, come in, new regulations. It'll keep on happening for the next so many years. So that's how things will evolve.
As startup founders and company founders, you obviously carry the weight of what your employees think is going to happen with the company, the growth prospect, and you're on that kind of trajectory. How do you balance it out? I'm thinking about people who are watching this and who are on some kind of success path, but don't know where it will go. Is it very difficult living with that uncertainty?
Once people are in, right, and if you are constantly connecting with them and they know the vision, like purpose of the company and so on, I think more or less things are solved. So it is very kind of the narrative that, you pay more and then you give a lot of luxuries or facilities, then people join you. That is not true. In startups, it's the purpose that counts. But what hurts is that people don't join you in initial days. So there are cases when So let's say you will do a lot of interviews, then you will make an offer. It will take 2 months. Then after you make an offer, there will be notice period for that person, which will be again for 3 months. So you spend 5 months in one person, and then tomorrow they are supposed to join. Day before yesterday, they will text you that, sorry, I can't join because you got some other job and so on. Now you have to start again from fresh, again 5-month hiring cycle and so on, right? So that is, I think, for startups, like nobody knows about Groww at that. Like imagine 2019, 2018, 19 and so on. Nobody knows about you. You're just like any other like small things. And as you kind of keep growing bigger, these kind of problems, then the internal problems start. Now you see if your team is very large, then to align everybody with this same purpose, same mission, that's how like founders, like a lot of our time is kind of spent in that.
What is the vision going ahead from here? We're going into a world where technology is changing fast. AI is going to play a very, very big role. What is the thought when it comes to that? I think AI, wealth management, AI tech, helping with wealth management is going to be the next frontier.
So the way we think about it is that there are a bunch of tools. So AI is like one very big, very, very large tool that will happen. But the most important is to keep sight of what you want to do, which is to kind of build wealth for your customers, right? And then there will be n number of tools available, and AI will be like maybe 80% of that. And you'll have to continue investing into that, think about innovative ways to kind of solve customers' problems.
All right, thank you so much for speaking with us today, Lalita and Harsh. Great to have you on. Hear some of your thoughts, but great for you to open up to us and speak to us as well. Thank you.